What is going on, everybody? It is Lineman Life Live. I'm your Reverend Lineman Uche Waneri here with my co-host, Justin Blaylock. We are the Linemen of Lineman Life. We got Urinate and Tree and 5 Points videos with us, as usual. And it is Wednesday. Now, we're not doing the tier maker this week. Unfortunately, that one's going to, we want to keep those in the same week as the game. And obviously, we're in the postseason. Super Bowl's coming up. We'll be talking about that here in a little while. But to start, obviously, the last 24 hours in the NFL have been quite eventful. Some things have happened. Some fans are now tarnished with stains of shit all over them. And we're going to talk. We're going to talk probably. The majority of this will be going down a couple of the main stories of the last 24 hours. First off, Brian Flores and his class action lawsuit that he has against the NFL. Also, we have Hugh Jackson adding some fuel to that fire since that news dropped. We'll check in on the coaching carousel and how this might have an effect on that. You never know. And also, the Washington football team, no more. From today forward, we will call them the Commanders. We're going to talk about that as well. So, get this thing started. Brian Flores, that whole situation, obviously many people will know by now, filed a class action lawsuit against the NFL, against the Giants, against the Dolphins, and against the Broncos. And I had a chance to actually read through a good portion of the 56 or 58 page lawsuit and some of the things that are being alleged. Mm-hmm. And this is a big problem for the NFL. This is a huge problem. This is a huge problem, maybe for a reason that you might not expect. But, you know, my first reaction to this news breaking was that, you know, this is kind of, I mean, as a player, spending time in the locker room, speaking with coaches who go from being players to being in the coaching room to being part of player development and all these different departments you have in your football facility. This was not an unknown. This was not something that we didn't already know that was going on. And it wasn't like a secret. It was just like we kind of tired of it, but it just happens. It's how it is. It's how it was kind of accepted, because as a player, you're a few degrees away from that, and that you're getting paid more than the coaches are getting paid. You know what I mean? And your experience is different because you are like the entertainment. So you're like not necessarily, right. You can't really care so much about, exactly. You're the talent. So I can't care so much about, you know, the situation as it pertains to coaches, because I'm going to have to buy into whoever it is anyway. You know what I mean? I'm going to have to give them the benefit of the doubt. Mm-hmm. So I'm not really looking at, you know, the numbers or even the experiences and whether there's really a genuine look at a coach who's a minority. But when you hear that it's not, and I've heard that it's not from many different players when I was in the league, it's like, yeah, we kind of figured it wasn't. I mean, look, everybody who's our boss is a white person, and it's always been like that. So it doesn't alarm me. I won't say it won't alarm me, but it doesn't surprise me that they prefer to kind of keep it that way. I mean, you see it. The numbers don't lie. You know, we talked about this on the dumpster fire yesterday. The NFL is 70% black as far as the entertainment goes. And then from the decision-making level upward, very, very small percentage. Now, as far as head coaches go, there was only one black head coach in the NFL. And he's had to be a Hall of Fame level performer to keep his job.
Yeah. Well, also the Steelers don't fire coaches.
Yeah, about to say.
And the Steelers aren't known for big. Yeah, you got job security in Pittsburgh, but I mean, come on.
He's earned it though. He's earned it every year.
He has probably earned his job more than any other coach in the NFL has earned their job. And I will put his resume against any coach minus
going to the
one.
Hall of Fame.
Minus one coach. And you know who that is. I will put his resume up against any of them. And he wins.
Dog shit roster.
Any coach who's been hired in the last 15 years, there's only one who has done a better job than him.
Yeah,
but they both
Bill
got
Belichick.
rings.
Yep. Bill
Belichick. So, I'm going to open it up to you guys and and we'll just discuss this and just kind of give our thoughts. I mean, I'm not trying to make this into some kind of, self-righteous this or that, but as a player, there's a little bit, I feel like, and I know Justin knows this as well. There's a little bit that we see this happen, and it's like every 5 or 6 years we hear about this, because the numbers never really change. They just kind of stay the same. You never get above 5 coaches who are black, 5 head coaches who are black in the NFL. Just don't really happen.
I think they were right at 5 or 6, maybe last year, the year before.
Yeah, when Anthony Lynn, Todd Bowles, when all those guys were coaches.
Yeah, 17, 18
days.
Yeah.
Around there.
Who else was
Well, I think it was I remember there was an uproar about multiple black coaches being fired. I think it was Todd Bowles, Marvin Lewis, Steve Wilkes, and I think there was another one, Vance Joseph.
Well, that kind of ties into those tanking allegations. It's like, all right, well, if we're gonna lose for the next 3 years, and I'm not saying that this is intentional or what, but they're like, hey, let's just.
I'm not gonna say it's not.
Yeah, let's take that box off, right? We don't have a black head coach. Let's just pin it all on him. We'll make it. It'll be historic, and then we'll fire him after 2 years. But at the same time, it's not like it ruins that coach. He gets whoever it is. Fuck, I'll be the first Asian head coach if you're gonna after 1 year and fire my ass. I'm owed $20 million. I'm set.
I think David Culley's the dream story. If
he worked his way up. He was a former player, and he got fired after 1 year being the coach. I think any coach given a talented roster would be hard to fuck up. It's like when you play in Madden and you ready up with the all Madden team. It's really hard. It doesn't matter what play you call when there's fucking holes wide open and shit for your running back to run through. It don't fucking matter, dude. But it just seems like they never say the quiet part out loud, but it's we're gonna suck for the next couple of years. Let's hire a black coach, and it just if you look at it objectively, that's how it's played out. That's how it's all right, we're going to bring in Anthony Lynn for 2 years. We're going to blame him for all these close losses, which I think was kind of his fault.
It was justified.
Yeah, he was fucking up.
He was fucking up, but he never
evolved. He didn't evolve as a coach.
We've got our young white guy in there that takes risks and analyzes things.
And he fucks up the same way. And they're not going to, he's not going anywhere.
He did have a really good season. He did have a really good year as a defensive coordinator with the Rams. So.
He did, but it just smells that way. I'm not saying it is that way. I'm just saying.
There's always outliers.
Things always smell when you look at things just from this point of view. You're just that's kind of shady.
Yeah, I feel when you look at it, it's not even. I don't think that it's necessarily every move that's done, that has a negative result for a black coach is because of racism. I don't think that's the case.
Some guys just weren't good.
Yeah, some guys just didn't get it done. But I think that the problem where I see the problem when it comes to the race side of it is that one, the Rooney Rule is now shown that it's ineffective. It's not useful, and it should be abolished. Get rid of it. But secondly, when Brian Flores talks about he goes into Denver, they're an hour late, and they smell like booze and look like they're hungover. You don't even respect the man, is what you're telling me.
The thing is,
and that is racist.
That sounds
because they wouldn't treat.
Here's the thing. Brandon Perna tweeted this. He's like, that is so on brand for John Elway, though.
Same here.
If you're around John Elway and you know how hard that motherfucker hits the bottle, people say that that's pretty much on brand for John Elway. Like it could have been the guy that he was going to hire. He was going to show up late, smelling like cigars and alcohol. Anyway, there's been rumors
but okay, be that as it may, even if that's the case, Brian Flores don't know him like that.
That's true. But I think.
So what am I supposed to think when I walk in there and the thing that you tell, the thing that has been hounded into my head from the moment I walked in the door as a rookie in the league? Be on time. Be 5 minutes early.
5 minutes early, you're on time.
Be ready to go to work.
You're on time.
And you know what I mean? All the principles of football that are supposed to lay the groundwork to building a successful culture, you don't even believe in them. So because the guy you're going to hire to put in that position to lead men, you can't even give him the respect to show your ass up on time, and you're supposed to be a decision maker.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? What am I supposed to think?
It's low class for sure, but
it's
And that kind of shit tends to trickle down.
Yeah, that's how bad cultures stay
when
bad.
Things get rough. Your head coach that you showed up an hour late for, smelling like booze, with all your boys looking like y'all are hungover. Hey, when shit get rough, I'm gonna start doing that. I'm gonna come in that motherfucker smelling like
Urban
weed.
Meyer.
Yep.
Yeah, Urban Meyer lost that locker room in week 4. When
he lost it long before that.
Yeah. Everybody must have been like, shit, we can stay out late too. Fuck it. We don't need to fly back.
You know what I mean?
Fuck it.
The moment he didn't fly back from the team, everybody on that team was like, if these motherfuckers even try me, if I show up late or don't show up to something.
Exactly. But he over here doing
I'm going straight to First Coast News and I'm telling them everything.
Yep.
And that's what happened. I mean, now, but aside from that, because I think we can agree that the racism part is you can discredit that as the NFL. Yeah. You can wiggle around that because even though he has the text messages, I mean, there would have to be some substantial evidence.
There would have to be some real shit.
Yeah, there have to be some real shit.
I mean, even in civil cases, I mean, I don't know if you can prove it. You can prove, however,
that's hard to prove.
Most NFL executives are completely incompetent.
So
you can absolutely prove that. Oh yeah, I mean, we all knew that like every exec was incompetent too.
Yeah, so numbers.
Unfortunately, and to think we wouldn't have known about this unless Bill Belichick randomly didn't text the wrong guy.
Pull the boomer move.
Yeah, that, as I said, that seems like a Belichick type of move. It's like, what's this technology? It just says Brian.
In 2022, you can't be that stupid, right?
Don't worry. Belichick just spends all his time in a film room. He doesn't know how to use a cell phone.
Yeah. Belichick doesn't seem like
he wouldn't get this far like being a the old projectors from the 60s where you just put in like the film reel and it just plays. He's probably one of those guys.
He's just like, let's see here. What do we got on film?
Definitely has a flip phone.
Yes.
So even with that, because you know that you read those texts and you see it, and he's like, "Oh shit!" You can see the panic. You can hear the panic in his response. He's like, "Oh, fuck this up! I really fucked this up." Oops. He's like, "Hey, oopsie! I didn't mean to send. I thought you were Bobby D, not Bobby F. Oh lordy." But that right there, I mean, that is probably the strongest in terms of leveraging and saying, look, this proves that they're not even like, they're not taking me serious. But why wouldn't they take me serious if they're genuinely looking for a head coach? I find out that the other guy already has a job. I haven't even gone to my interview yet.
They
don't know that I walked in there knowing that either. So they played it up.
That happened a couple years ago too. I can't remember the case where they had their guy picked out. Another team had their guy picked out, and they just did a pity interview with some. I forget. It was very similar.
Oh, it was Marvin fucking Lewis.
Marvin Lewis in Dallas, right?
Yeah,
Marvin Lewis in Dallas. We already
they had McCarthy picked out.
Mike McCarthy, and the NFL told him, no, you can't do that. The NFL said you can't do that because you haven't talked to a minority candidate.
Don't you think? Honestly, though, don't you think that's more respectful to not waste Marvin Lewis's fucking time having him put on his suit and fly out to Dallas for nothing?
Yeah,
that's more respectful than to, bring in Brian Flores and treat him like, oh, here's our black guy. Let's serve him up.
Yeah.
And then,
that's why poorly written policy shouldn't
But how do you fix it? How do you find an equitable
Problem is, it's-
system?
Dude,
There's
I
no-
don't fucking know.
And
I
the
don't
problem
know.
is,
no
Rooney
way.
Rule was well intentioned, but the problem is, I feel like it's been twisted to the point where it's like, okay, we'll just
But
bring in
it's
this
been-
one guy
yes,
and just
exactly.
do the bare minimum. I think the
Yeah.
problem is too. It's like most like executives, like the NFL, like most business, is very who you know. So I feel like somebody that's an outsider, like say Brian Flores with the New York Giants, is going to have a harder time trying to prove himself than say Brian Dable when Joe Shane have like worked with him in Buffalo. So it's like, oh, whatever. I'm going to bring in my own guy.
Yeah.
We're doing our
You
own thing.
trust who you trust.
So it's unfortunately, that's the sad reality of life where it's like, unfortunately, like you're going to relate more to someone your own skin color.
It's
So,
not even
I mean,
relate. It's I know this guy. I trust him.
Yeah,
I've
you've
been
got a
friends
relationship with him. You've had a
or if you
relationship.
like say like that's why there are a lot of sons of coaches in the league. That's why there are a lot of
Yeah.
sons of executives,
Nepotism, is
daughters
out
of executives.
control.
It is.
Kyle
It's
Shanahan.
very who you know.
Right.
That's the problem. So like
Yeah.
any of us four, we probably couldn't get a shot. Even like two former NFL players and Justin and Uche, because they don't know anybody. I don't know if they're going to get jobs. It's just the way
Yeah.
life is, and it sucks.
Right. And you can't
Yeah,
just
no.
mandate, hey, you have to have 10% black coaches. Like you can't
no
do
way.
that.
You can't do
Like,
that. That's
But
No,
it-
you can't.
that'll get slimmed down.
That'll dilute the product of the game eventually.
Yep.
yeah, because
It'll
then
just
you
create
get-
an issue. Like,
Now you're
well,
hiring
no,
they'd,
Yeah,
they'd
just
be like,
quota.
we need to hire somebody. Let's hire Pac-Man Jones or some shit. Fucking-
You're right. You can coach our.
Pac-Man trying to fight the ref at the fucking 30-yard line. What's going on?
All right, you can
Hey, Joey Porter. Joey
Joey
was
Porter.
the linebackers coach for the Steelers.
yeah.
coach the
Yeah.
L5s on the kickoff team.
Hey, Joey Porter was he was a linebacker
Noah
coach,
Johnson.
and I think he was the coach
Pittsburgh.
in
Yeah, it's
Miami
Pittsburgh.
too.
Yeah, I think he was in Miami.
He was the coach in Miami too. I remember seeing him. Now look, on the one end, you got the race side, right? Now everybody knows that's an issue in and of itself. But the most dangerous side of this for the NFL, obviously, is throwing football games. Now, tanking is a thing. It's a romanticized concept. Like tanking is is when a team doesn't have talent, so maybe they don't put forth the 100% game planning effort that you might need to beat a strong team you're playing against this week. Paying attention to records of teams about halfway through the season to see where your draft status is or where your draft ranking is going to be at. I mean, the Jaguars won one game a couple years ago, got the first overall pick. They won 3 games this year, and they still got the first overall pick. So it's not about necessarily just not winning at all. But it is a concept that is very gray area, and you should never look like you're trying to lose kind of thing. Ever.
Yeah.
You should never look like you're trying to lose. And you
But
should
that's-
never even say that you should never even talk about first overall picks when it comes to, speaking with the media. That's like the little secret within the secret. You don't talk about it. Even behind the closed doors, you don't really talk about it. You just be like, well, we got 3 games left, guys.
You look kind of tough. I don't know.
Hey, listen.
We got to
let's
get
not-
some of these younger guys on film.
Let's
Blake,
not
you
kid
get in
ourselves
there.
here. Everybody's
Blaine-
being evaluated. Let's not kid ourselves.
Right. Let's start.
We're not
Blaine
going to win
Gabbert.
these.
He don't even know the fucking playbook, but let's start Blaine Gabbert. Okay.
We got to start getting a look at some
32X.
guys.
You're like, we don't even. That's not even part of our nomenclature.
Let's bench Jalen Hurts for Nate Sudfeld in Week 17.
If Ooch, when you said Blaine Gabbert like called out the plays incorrectly, what do you do when that happens? Do you just assume that he called a pitch right or something? Like what
He
do you
didn't
try-
mess up. He didn't mess up the play as in called the wrong play. He called. I remember it. I almost remember exactly what he said. We were in New York playing the Jets. Josh McCown had fucking sucked it up and threw like 4 pick sixes in a row. Like literally, bro. I was tired as shit. He threw pick 6, and then he came back after the kickoff return, pick 6 again. And he came back after a kickoff return, pick 6 again. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then Blaine comes in. And Blaine's like comes jogging in, long blonde hair hanging out his helmet, eyes looking wide as shit. Just, all right, guys. We got about 4 minutes left. Let's fucking do something, all right?
Let's get out of
I'm
here.
like,
healthy.
yeah, right, motherfucker.
Let me get out of
We
here
gonna watch
without
this 4
I'm
minutes
like,
evaporate.
knee out. or
Tell
something.
me we're running a fucking dive.
So when 5 points is mine, you'd just be better off kneeling the ball 3 times.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Like, it's time to kneel, guys.
It
Come
went
on.
from being a close game to being an utter blowout in fucking like 4 series and under 6 minutes. But he comes in, he calls the formation incorrectly. The right play with the wrong formation, which he flipped the formation. So the formation was on the wrong side. Motioned opposite where we're supposed to motion. So we're motioned from right to left when it's supposed to be formation to the left strength with motion to the right because we were at the left hash. And then when we snapped the ball, he turned the wrong way. And then he just ended up just bootlegging. He just bootlegged and ran.
Hey,
He probably picked up a couple of yards.
He did. He got like 3 yards.
hey, you made chicken salad. You know, sometimes that's what you got to do.
That shit was crazy. That was the year they cut Garrard. I was like, yeah, we went from being a playoff possible team to being we're not winning this year. I don't know how many games. I think we won
Not
like
doing shit.
yeah, I think we won like 5, maybe 4 or 5 games that year.
Here's the thing. I hate to derail us, but like the whole tanking allegation is like you said, super serious. And like, what is it? Hugh Jackson said he was offered $100,000 to tank.
Yeah, Hugh Jackson
That's
as well.
They'll never do it, but relegation does fix that problem.
Yep.
Yeah, but the problem is that they won't because
Yeah.
it would destroy the equity
Old Boys
of
Club.
the teams
It would
themselves.
fuck
So,
the
like,
team up. Yeah.
Yeah, like say the Cleveland Browns deserve to be relegated for a while. The Cincinnati
gonna play in
Bengals
the
after this year deserve to be
USSFL.
relegated.
Yeah.
Yep. We're promoting the Orlando Apollos.
Right. Who's going to be that team that
You know what? We're
win the
Americans.
and
We're
now you're
Americans. Our healthcare is broken. We fucking just power through it. The NFL is not perfect, but we still love it. That's how we do things in America. It's like, all right, we're our system's fucked up, but damn if you talk shit about it.
Well, I think America's more
Well,
like
tell us who
making
gets
money.
better ratings, motherfucker.
Yeah, yeah.
No, none of y'all get better
Rich
ratings.
off of this
Money
shit.
pays, baby.
still making money.
No, we don't care.
No,
as long as people getting paid, we don't care that it's
Show me
unfair.
the money.
Yeah.
But that is the biggest problem. That's the biggest, most dangerous. That's dangerous for the NFL. One, because because look, the lawsuit hasn't been presented. The evidence hasn't all been presented yet. Once they do a discovery and they start presenting, because that's why I think the NFL's going to try and push settlement.
Yeah,
If they have real shit,
No way they're
if they got real shit to show,
Oh yeah.
and there's like actual like tangible evidence that that these owners were offering payments to lose, there's going to be multiple teams that will have to be sold.
Remember, Bountygate was as obvious like a case of ever, and they still really never had like actual.
Yeah,
concrete
dude,
evidence.
that's different. It's
Oh,
different
right.
because there's precedence around every other league that once you cross that line, your team is done. You got to get rid of the team.
right.
You can't have the team no more. And that's going to be and the problem with that is that there's a threefold problem with if this is proven to be true. One, you have a team in Vegas now.
I'm supposed to say Vegas is going to come calling, and not the Raiders.
Yeah, Vegas has no problem.
They have interest in who wins and loses these games,
Yes, they got billions up every year on these games.
and
They
they're
have
all you
an
have to say
interest
is-
in knowing that an owner is throwing games.
and they have some less than savory characters that run some of these
Somebody, yes, an NFL
Yeah,
player will get caught up with a bookie at some point. It's going to happen. Someone's going to be caught fixing games. It happened in the
Now-
NBA.
It happened in the NHL. Like if anything.
it happened in
NHL,
baseball.
Coaches, baseball.
Every
Pete
league.
Rose. There's always weakness, and the problem with gambling is it can be a mental illness. Like it can be
it's an
something
addiction.
where it's a compulsion, and so
Yes.
someone's gonna fuck up and be in a position to affect the outcome of a game.
Exactly. Now, this is another thing, right? So you have
that-
owners. Who knows if the owners aren't betting money on it? Who knows if they're not raking in millions extra on the side, black money, because they are already tanking their team?
I can easily bet against
So
my
that's
team.
how deep it
Right.
goes.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
you know what that does. On one hand, you have that. On the other hand, what happens if there's evidence that comes out and now Congress decides we're going to investigate? And not only are we going to investigate, we are going to consider antitrust law revocations
Yeah, but-
on the NFL as a monopoly. That is where the NFL can be hurt very
Yeah,
bad.
but that's their hold card. That's been the hold card for Congress for years. It's just to keep them in check. You know, it's
And
like, look,
they'll do.
y'all can't go crazy.
That's what forces the NFL to actually do something.
Yeah,
So what happens? Those teams will be sold immediately.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
Or
I mean,
stripped.
yeah. The worst thing you can do in the NFL is be blatantly racist, which
Mhm.
happened to Jerry Richard, or sexist, which is what happened to Jerry Richardson,
Don't
or
say.
compromise the integrity of the game. But
Everything else, we
Yeah.
can work with you.
Yeah,
Right, right,
we'll
right.
look past for that.
you can get jerked off in a massage parlor, be on tape as long as you're powerful enough. You can beat that. You can be Jerry Jones, grabbing some girl's tit in the fucking
In
owner's
the
box.
pictures.
Yep,
Yeah.
in
Be
pictures.
Stan Kroenke and fuck
Right.
over an entire city, cost the NFL hundreds of millions of dollars. You can do that too.
Right, do it with your roommate, fucking Dean Spanos, who did the exact same thing. Like those are the two biggest assholes
Exactly.
sharing a stadium ever.
And
I
one of them
mean,
might
you
win a
can get
Super
away
Bowl.
with a lot of shit on
You
this
get away
side of
with
the, on this
so
side of the
much.
fence.
Like the Johnson family, the people that own the Jets, like their kids
Mhm.
are fucking blatant drug addict, fucking awful people. I think some of them have been either committed murder or close to it. Like,
That
like the
sounds
Johnson
rich
family is
people crimes.
fucked up.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Johnson and John, because they've been rich forever and they have no
They have no morality.
context for reality. And it's all these, but as long as they don't cross the big lines, you're fine. As long as you don't
Once
pull
you
a
cross the
Donald
big
Sterling.
lines, somebody got to take the fall.
Yeah.
Somebody's going down. Now, this whole league, it's not going nowhere. But somebody is going to have to take the fall. And that's where owners get turned into bitches. Because that's where Roger Goodell comes walking in the room with the fucking special prosecutor right next to him, like, hey, guys, 100,000 a game, not going to work for us. You're going to have to sell the Dolphins. You're going to have to sell the Broncos. You're going to have to sell the Cleveland Browns, whoever it may be. Now,
Well, the Broncos are
I got
already
a
being
video.
sold.
Yeah, the Broncos are already being sold. Now, that's another thing that was in the lawsuit that it hasn't been talked about. But one of the requests for injunctive relief, one of the requests as part of the injunctive relief is that Brian Flores wants a committee to be formed that would basically have the agenda of helping minority investors get in on potentially having majority ownership in a franchise. That's important to me because that means now you can have investors who can get into the running as a group, investment groups, to buy a team like the Broncos. Can you imagine a team like the Broncos with a board of owners who are majority minorities? And I'm not even saying black. I'm just saying minorities. Like that gives for a much more, especially when you talk about hiring head coaches, hiring general managers, hiring presidents of football operations. That's where you can start to crack that good old boys club, because that's what it is. It's the good old boys club. So
there has to be someone in the room, in the decision-making room. Just even if it's just one voice for now, someone has to be in there. And I'm not sure you can legislate this either, because
you can't really force it.
You don't have the fucking money.
They're private entities.
At the end of the day, you got to come up with the money. And that's a bit of a problem for 99.999.
I mean, but when you talk about there are some black entrepreneurs, businessmen who are billionaires, and
the dude that owns
this is something that they've been interested in.
Right.
Yeah, Bob Johnson. He's owned the Charlotte Hornets when they were the Hornets.
Yeah,
MJ,
MJ,
come on, bro.
MJ,
You only need $4 billion.
Get Oprah.
Oprah,
LeBron,
Oprah. They could buy that motherfucker. Four of them.
Lewis Hamilton. I mean,
Lewis Hamilton. Yeah, right.
I don't know.
I don't know if Hamilton wants a state-owned team. Though. He'd probably more buy like Premier League team.
Yeah.
That could be more his style.
Fucking Brit.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Wrong side of the pond, baby.
But you have
Really,
prominent black figures who can come together if they want to. I'm not saying, that's not like, hey, you got to do this for us, but
Do it for the culture.
do it for the culture.
Jay-Z,
but
that's a
Jay-Z,
good one.
Jay-Z, where you at? All this shit Jay-Z been talking. Jay-Z ain't. Look, this is why I don't like Jay-Z. From a music standpoint, I got a lot of reasons why I don't like Jay-Z, but from a business standpoint, yes, I understand he does do a lot. But when the moments that are monumental, like this could be a monumental moment. Why aren't you being talked about like they're talking about Peyton Manning potentially trying to get in on buying the Broncos?
Maybe he don't have money like he says he does.
If that's the case, your girl do. We know she do.
We know
They can
Beyonce
pull their money up.
has that money.
They can call Rihanna.
Hey, hit up Riri.
Probably
You put her
Beyonce's
on.
like, Jay, you're not spending my money on that bullshit, are you?
She don't even like football.
Honey, we can print money after this.
You better love football.
We can
But
put
that's the thing.
fucking
An
face on the dollar
NFL
bill.
franchise never goes down in value. It triples.
Never.
It
Even the worst
quadruples
ones.
in a 10-year
Dude,
span.
Shad Khan.
The
The
shitty
Jaguars
teams
are
make
worth,
money.
or the Jaguars are $1 billion team now.
Yeah.
The Jaguars are $1 billion team.
Dog shit teams make money. hand
He's
over
been
fist.
running it to the ground. I mean,
And
if
he
you
has been
decrease
making
value,
so much money.
That's sad. I mean,
I talked
he's
to
been
Maurice
funneling
Jones,
all
he
that
told
into
me.
AEW.
Oh yeah. Well,
Where
you know
that's
what?
going.
Tony Khan got that's. I think that's Tony Khan's money. I think Tony Khan's
Yeah,
doing
that's-
putting his money on that. But I mean, it comes off the strength of his dad.
I think
you know what I mean?
Shot's like a financier there too. I think
Yeah,
they're both
yeah,
like kind
yeah.
of co-owners.
But I mean, shoot, I talked to Mojo. Mojo was telling me this cat is making hand over fist off the Jaguar.
Yeah.
His
well
value
paid.
is
Why would-
has almost doubled since he got him. So
Yeah.
I mean, but then to kind of wrap this whole thing on the lawsuit up, I think about in my own selfish way, what can this do for the situation in Jacksonville? Because that is kind of the answer from a PR standpoint for the NFL to say, hey,
We got
look,
the black guy.
look.
We got the black guy. We got this one
We
right.
got a black GM and a black head coach. Like,
I mean,
come on,
whatever.
the
Trent Baalke.
Jaguars.
Nobody cares about Trent Baalke. Get him out of
Yeah,
there.
fuck Trent Baalke. Get him out of here. We got a minority owner, minority GM, minority head coach. We are diversity in the NFL. Like,
And then they'll get a
come
medal out
on.
and say they beat racism like they always do.
Yeah, then they'll have a commercial and shit, and it'll have like Khan standing in the stadium like he's Superman looking up at the sky. Like, yeah.
No, what it's going to be is every single buzzword in the world with like a bunch of different people playing in the background every single time. And it's just like, dude, are you kidding me?
The NFL is really fucking. I mean, look, it's high production cringe. That's what I say.
Yeah, they're doing
It's
it
the
for money.
highest of
That's all they care
production
about.
cringe. It's
I
the
mean, it's
highest
good
of
quality
production
commercials. I mean,
Yeah.
cringe. It is. The
behind the
commercial
commercial,
looks
but
amazing.
the cinematographers, the editors, like, hey, kudos to them.
Best of everything, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As
The
they should.
commercial will look amazing. It'll be half in black and white.
Yes.
They'll put shit in the end zone. I mean,
They'll
come
have
on.
like historical black players in the background, like Barry Sanders running for a touchdown, Earl
Yeah.
Campbell, Bo Jackson, Randy Moss, Boston receiver. Like they'll have that
Yeah,
They'll
with
have
the
money.
radio announcer like fucking in the
Yeah.
background,
Yeah.
talking the
Mike-
fucking
dude.
playthrough.
Michael Vick with the run against Minnesota. You know you're going to
Yeah.
do that too.
Yeah,
The NFL cares like the NFL.
some of the most
Diversity,
with fucking what's his name with the voice of God. What's his name?
James
Jim
Morgan
Jones.
Freeman.
Oh,
Morgan Freeman with Morgan Freeman fucking narrating. You know it.
Yes.
You know it. Now I'll tell you, the NFL has had some of the greatest players to ever walk the gridiron.
You better get him soon. He's getting up there.
If you're not winning, you're not trying. The NFL approves diversity. But yeah, I hope that I put a tweet out yesterday saying that it was in the vein of the shit poster urinating a tree. It was my prayer to the football gods to take this moment of weakness that the NFL may find itself in over race and allow the PR department to come up with the idea of calling up Shad Khan and forcing him to fire Baalke and hire Byron Leftwich immediately. Now we need it for tomorrow.
Will send
We
their
talked
goons
about
and, like,
this.
they'll like Hank dangle his feet from like the stadium. It's like you're gonna fire Bulky. It's like no,
Fucking Vanilla Ice style.
But I love Bulky. But I love Bulky.
The problem,
listen.
what I hate is that why does it have to be Jacksonville that Byron
That gets
Leftwich
it right.
hired at? Like,
ideal situation.
it is the ideal situation. He's a former Jag, but he could go somewhere else. Like there's plenty of openings, but it seems like
I find
all
it
these.
peculiar that no
Right.
team is willing to even reach out to him because they think he's said that that's where he wants to be,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
other
that's
teams are
true.
kind of backing
it's
off.
kind of limiting too. Yeah, I get
Doesn't
it.
seem like a good negotiating ploy.
Yeah, so we'll see how that plays out. Let's get into the Super Bowl a little bit, just a little bit here. That's happening too.
Super Bowl. The Super
You
Bowl is
know?
a thing.
That's
thought
a
already
thing.
happened.
The Bengals. Well, you know what? I had these freaking. You know what? We'll get into the Super Bowl. Actually, we'll get into that in a little bit. Let's talk about these Washington Commanders. Let me pull this up. I actually think that this is kind of hilarious because they kind of screwed this up.
Big time.
What was formerly known as the Washington football team is now the Washington Commanders. Now, at first sound of this, I thought, hey, not terrible. Not terrible. Then I started thinking of like, okay, so you're going to call them the Commanders, but what's like the short for that? And the first thing I thought was the Washington Commies, which is kind of
It was against everything Washington stands for.
that's kind of the polar opposite of what we're trying to go for here.
I mean, to be fair, I know you said the rivalry's dead. The rivalry ain't dead anymore. We're talking about America's team pro-democracy versus the evil Russian Empire. We're going back to 80s propaganda, baby.
They got the red, the kind of burgundy. They got the burgundy and yellow. Yeah, kind of. You could say that's a USSR flag. Sure.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's a hammer and
So
sickle.
just throw a hammer and sickle on there. There you go.
Throw a hammer and sickle on there, and you're good to go.
Matter of fact, they probably
but
got
this-
one hidden
this-
in there.
What do you guys think of this situation with Washington? I mean, they are, in a way, in a very like abstract way, this is like the most self-destructive franchise in the NFL. Their stadium is completely
Garbage.
garbage. 5 Points did a video on that, broke down all the problems with FedEx Stadium. The owner is a piece of shit. The league has basically had to cover up for them in a huge scandal, and basically erased half a million emails. At the same time, still got John Gruden on the way out. And now they've been forced to change their name because of the backlash that of course, after many decades, because there has been backlash for decades. This is not something that's new. A lot of Native Americans have talked about this with the Redskins name for a long time. Some saw it as an endearing, kind of sign of respect. Some saw it as an offensive thing. So, of course, with all the other shit that Dan Snyder did, this is what he was going to have to, that's what he's going to have to give up on. He's going to have to change the name. They go to the Washington football team. And in hindsight, I liked Washington football team because it kind of had a little bit of that Eurocentric feel to it, like how you have, football clubs in Europe, in the Premier League, in La Liga, in
FC Washington.
UEFA. The whatever football club. That's just what they're called. And now on 2/2/22, same or this date that they put up, I guess like a couple months ago, that they would announce the name. It's the Commanders, and the Commanders is very generic. It's very, this. I feel like the design is fine, but it's like this is still an NFL team. They could have done a little better. I think the white uniform is shit. The white uniform doesn't even look like the other two.
The white uniform's just like meh. The black uniform looks like it's something, or the dark red looks like it's out of Arizona State. And then I remember looking at the red one, looks like it's out of Iowa State. It's like it just looks bland. And I think that's what Dan Snyder was looking for. He's just looking for people to forget about Washington and just make sure, like, this is his big plea to say, please don't make me sell the team. That's all this is. That's what everything the past 18 months has been.
So where does it actually, like...
Is there a logo? Or is it everything?
The logo is just the W.
I think it's a W.
Just the W? Okay. I wasn't sure.
So the black uniform is just, I mean, it's fine. It's black. It's black.
Like
Every black uniform looks good.
They're trying with that military vibe, but there's no red military group. Like the Russians are red.
They're commies.
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, if you want to go like 18th century, maybe the British Army. But even then,
the British are coming.
The redcoats.
Anti-American.
The redcoats. I mean, this
is
just like the British, we're going to march in a single file line and throw a few volleys and probably die.
They're going to sit there and stuff their muskets and, wait for the command to actually shoot people.
Yeah.
They're going to bring in like a pocket passer quarterback and he's got to reload every 40 seconds of play clock. It's like, hold on.
The Minutemen.
My arm. Aim. Fire. And it's
the Minutemen.
The other way. That's a touchdown.
Yeah, this is
the minute. I mean, I feel like they could have. I feel like the name could have been better.
Doesn't roll off the tongue at all.
Yeah, it doesn't really like roll off the tongue, and that whole commies thing. Ooh, that's not going to age well for them.
No, it's not a good.
That's not going to age well for them.
I kind of like the matte red helmet. That's the only thing I like about it. Yeah.
I kind of like the matte. Let me go to.
But it looks kind of weird with the normal yellow. I don't know. It's crazy that they had 2 years and this is what they came up with.
Yeah, I mean, it's like they didn't really try. And then let's talk about the fact that, how many times did it get leaked before they actually released it? You have helicopters that had like zoomed into the FedEx Stadium and you could see what the name was a couple days ago.
Yeah, they knew it. It was already leaked. It was done. I
was like, you think they're smart enough to just try to throw us off the scent? Nah.
I thought they were going to kind of do it. It's like they'll do like a fake name and then they'll reveal it. But, no.
Now, what about the W on the front of the helmet? That's new to me. That's a new thing. That looks weird.
I feel like it'd be better if we're near like the actual helmet name itself instead of that high up.
Yeah, it's like too high up, right? Like it should be right at the tip of the white.
Yeah, it should be right there on the crown, where you hit people.
Mm-hmm.
That might be a target, like a commander would do.
Yes, like a dirty ass commander who.
Or if you want to do like
W, then it's targeting. No pay on the W, not targeting.
No,
or maybe if you wanted to do like the captain style, maybe like stars on the front of the helmet, so like a 4-star general or something like that. Really play up the commander, or maybe like Roman style, where you have like the olive branch that's around the W is like maybe a symbol of the Senate. Maybe do that. Be creative. Don't just be like, oh, we're just gonna cut and paste something like that. That's only really
on your shoulder there. I mean, there's a lot of shit they could do with like.
They got the 3-star. Maybe they could do their captain system with that, with this whole 3-star shoulder thing.
Okay,
maybe
years of service.
I mean, it's kind of a lie here. It says 1932, estimated 1932. Nah, I mean. That was the Redskins.
No, they're going to forget about that. Well, they're also going to forget they actually started in Boston instead of Washington. So.
Yeah. It's like, nah, that wasn't you guys. You guys are estimated 2022.
They were the team formerly known as the Redskins.
The team formerly known as... Oh, there we go.
Dude, that's amazing.
Wow. The game has been tight today. They have been getting so cooked on Twitter today. It has been ridiculous.
Holy goodness.
They have been
I'm saving this.
Cooked like a poached egg.
All he needs is the Red Book of Mao, and that's a perfect match. Actually, you know what? Their next rebuild's going to be called the Great Leap Forward for that same reason. Hopefully it's not as disastrous as it was for China.
For real. Hopefully they don't end up, killing off 150 million people because of it.
And then once Dan Snyder is executed, it will be the Cultural Revolution.
L. Well, people are cooking them on now. These uniforms here were clean.
That dude has the
Yeah,
black.
they were nice. Those were really nice unis.
That's kind of sharp.
Those were nice.
I love
Jeez,
the logo.
I'm surprised they haven't done the Jordan face.
That's the old.
they
That's
are
the old
getting
meme.
cooked.
Though.
Yeah,
That's
that's a
been
great
around
one.
forever.
But
I
it's
want
perfect.
figure this,
Oh
like,
my
you know,
god!
Washington comrades. It should be the
Let's do the
comrades.
football.
The comrades.
These are
What is going
football
on?
team. We play football.
We play football.
Free vodka shots for
I'm gonna
everyone.
leave that up while I go through some of these super chats. Holy crap!
Now entering Captain Comrade Ryan
Captain
Fitzpatrick.
Comrade. Oh, they have a guy coming on a Humvee and with the fucking green beret on.
They'll bring in like fake tanks and have like the halftime show be like one of those decorations.
A
Instead of
military
a marching band, you
march
have
off.
like some old like Washington football team players imitate soldiers. And then you see Dan Snyder just in the background, like staring in pride, and they all salute Dan Snyder, like Dan Snyder. And then
we
Dan Snyder's
salute
like,
you.
Yeah.
We who are about to die salute you.
Wow. You have a statue of Dolph Lundgren.
If I die, I die.
If he dies, he dies.
We die. We die.
Chippy Media for was that €5 there? It says, I think the biggest worry for the NFL is if Flores was fired for being unwilling to lose. If that's provable, the league should come down hard. No, that's definitely right. I mean, I wouldn't say the league should come down hard. I think that there would actually be like a wider reaching investigation that would be started because of that. Because now you're talking about, the potential for gambling to have a direct influence on football. And that is something that even the commissioner cannot really solve. Someone has to kind of he can help solve in the end once all the facts are laid out, but he's not going to be the person who's delivering the hammer. That is going to come from an independent body.
Those are his.
Sad part is it was believable too, because if you actually look at the 19 Dolphins, they did a lot of things that resembled tanking early on.
Weird. That was like
very weird. Like they traded a bunch of different players. They randomly benched, they brought in Rosen, and then it's just turned into, and then it kind of grudge credence that Flores kind of quote unquote ruined their tank by winning, because he's not, of course, going to lose. That's an ethics issue. He would never get a job in the NFL again if he agreed to take money.
Flores just seems like a hard line, by the book dude. Like he just don't.
Players play for him.
Yeah, like his dad must have beat him or something for not finishing, for not mowing the lawn or taking out the trash. Like he seems like just a strict ass dude, like he's a dude that when you show up for a workout together, you're like, fuck Brian. He's not gonna let me cheat on anything. And that just seems like the type of personality he has, I could be wrong, but
you know what?
It's only 14
This kind
reps,
of
motherfucker.
this kind of
Back down there.
makes me begin to think about the 2018-2019 Jacksonville Jaguars. Because that was a defense that was stacked. That was an offense that was stacked. The last year of Tom Coughlin's reign there, right before they went 1-15, they traded away their entire team. They traded away everybody for nothing.
The Marlins do that every time.
I'm not saying nothing about that. I'm just saying, if we're talking about the process of just an intentional tank and potentially offering the coach money to just let shit roll to the side, that 1-15 Jaguars team, it's hard to go 1-15, bro. It's hard.
Yeah.
It kind of did seem like a bit of a tank too in 2020. I mean, they won that first game.
Intentional.
And then they were starting they benched their best quarterback in Gardner Minshew, and they were playing Jake Luton and Mike Glennon. Okay.
Over
Gardner
Minshew, who actually went into Philly and in a backup role, he came in the game. He played better than the starter too.
I agree.
Yeah.
Like that's a guy who's getting blackballed, Gardner Minshew. I think he can be a decent quarterback in this league.
Yeah, I do too.
I agree.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that's something. Hey, maybe we'll hear more about that later. But that seems suspicious now to me. It really does. But let's keep going here. Next up, what the Hadass Soul. Well, I hope I'm saying that right. What the Hadass Soul for $5 says, just check out Belichick has a weakness on YouTube. He didn't know how to change his clock in his SUV. Oh. Picture him sitting there for hours.
As I said, that dude's in a film room for way too long. He doesn't know anything else.
He's probably trying
that
maybe
dude,
message. Hey, can I unsend this? How do I
that dude would set a cornflake bowl on fire. That is Bill Belichick. It's like, wait a minute, this isn't a cover 3.
Hey, maybe he did accidentally send that text. Maybe he did. That might convince me. If he don't know how to set the clock in his fucking car, and it's not even like it's hard anymore. You don't have to like twist any dials. You just tap on the fucking screen, my friend.
Eat your M.
Yeah.
Gonna it.
I appreciate that, but that's fucking hilarious. You know what? I kind of want to see that. Let me see something.
Should make it a sitcom, like Life with Bill Belichick, and it's just him not knowing what the hell to do outside a film room.
Bill Belichick has a weakness. I'm gonna look it up real quick.
Yeah, what's his weakness?
Life outside of
Bill
film room.
Belichick has a weakness. Oh no! Hold on.
Oh dear. David Lim just said Bill Stell sends faxes. Is that true? Jeez, he's stuck in the 90s.
Oh my God, he's talking. Okay, yeah. Let's. It's NFL Network though. Can't do it. Those motherfuckers ain't gonna have it.
More
Copyright claim.
No signal.
But Ooch, you were a former player. You should have the right to play that stuff, man.
Hey, you know what? I actually applied. I emailed the NFL and said, "Hey, I'm going to be doing a lot of coverage on the NFL this year. I'd like to use footage, in my videos. How can you help me with that? I'm a former player." She's like, "Oh yeah, absolutely. Here, just fill this out. Give it to me, and I'll expedite it through for you." And I'm thinking to myself, okay.
I'll throw it right in the trash for you.
Next thing I know, like a day later, she emails me back, emails me the link to go to get, as if I'm about to get like my credential to use their shit. Denied. Don't even try it. We're not licensing you shit.
Mm-hmm.
You're never and every time I use more than like any NFL film I've ever used in my videos, they claim that shit immediately.
Oh, dude, NFL Instant claims most of my stuff too, so it's like
instant.
Yeah, it's automatically in the system. Like YouTube does its checks. There's like 15 different claims. It's like, well, that's why sponsors are a thing.
And now there's a cable van mysteriously parked outside your house.
Oh yeah. Oh, don't worry. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the goon squad to come at me and break my legs. I'm waiting for that.
Oh man. But
like they'll bring in like Aaron Donald too, and it'll be like they'll just break me like across and just like break my back. It's like, well,
fucking hilarious.
I can at least say my back was broken by Aaron Donald.
He's wearing all black, and you're like, "Hey, is that Aaron Donald?" He just comes running at you, like, "Oh my God!"
Yeah.
See, I would have jumped in my 3-point stance, like, "Whoa, I know how to handle this."
See, the thing is like, I think with uniforms, like, they might look like crap on these dummies or whatever, but sometimes they look good on the player, like when they're moving and the players are in them.
Yeah,
but I just don't like unicolor, monocolor uniforms. Like the pants need to be different from the shirt. You need that contrast. It just looks ridiculous.
I don't like when there's no additional like detail outside of just shoulder strap.
That's why I wanted some type of logo or something other than just your name.
Right,
like
and the leg strap or something.
And also, no lineman likes all white.
Like the Nike uniforms we had in Jacksonville, with the first new uniforms where they had the gold and black helmet. A lot of people shat on that gold and black helmet, But dude, that uniform was top fucking notch. I think those are the best uniforms the Jags have ever had.
Yep, I remember those.
Those were the
The
nicest
two-tone
uniforms.
helmet was a little weird with the
two-tone helmet was weird because it was backwards. It should have been gold in the back and black in the front. Instead, or no, I'm sorry. Fuck, how was it? I think it was gold in the black.
I think it was black in the front and gold in the back. I don't know.
Should have been, yeah, it was black in the front. It should have been gold in the front and black in the back.
Yeah.
Like that's where they messed it up. It should have been gold, or it should have just been gold. And that would have been dope because that shit was like those uniforms were nice. That was like the first, and those were the first uniforms that Nike started like a new stitching process. So like the uniforms were like, it didn't even feel like you were wearing one. Like they were so thin but so strong, and they breathed like really well. So I don't know why they went to the ones they got now. The ones they got now are garbage to me. They're like just basic ass uniforms. Like, bro, what is this? This is not 1993 high school football. This is the NFL. Put on some like detail oriented uniforms. Like Seattle got cold uniforms because they're detail oriented. You know, and hell, even I think the Broncos need to change their uniforms. I think the Broncos that whole because they kind of were ahead of their time with their uniforms, but now it looks really weird with that big blue stripe that kind of turns into a claw on the side of the white pants. That shit looks really weird.
Yeah,
it's really weird.
Anyway, use an upgrade.
Let's keep moving.
Honestly, I think the Vikings have like one of the best uniforms. Like, because
I think the Vikings uniforms are really nice.
Matches with the purple, like they have their own proprietary Viking font. Like it looks good. Like I have to admit, like they took it, it's like a woman that takes her time and puts her makeup on and like combs her hair and coordinates an outfit. That's what the Vikings do. It's like I can appreciate it. I'm not hitting on you. I'm not trying to I'm just letting you know you look good. Okay, you did a good job when you left the house.
I see what you did.
Right.
I mean, like I said, man, I thought that these, and let me pull this thing up so y'all can see it. Y'all can see them live. I thought these were the best fucking uniforms. Where is it? And people shat on them all the time, but I mean, I loved them. And everybody, all my teammates were like, "Yo, these uniforms are clean." And that's your boy.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that is kind of fire there, right there too.
Right.
I'll give you that. This helmet though, right here in the middle, Jaguars uniform described as a mess. That one in the middle right there.
I'm not a fan of that helmet.
The helmet looks weird because it should have either been all black like this, matte black.
Yep.
It should have been all gold. It should have never been
close to the logo.
And like
I'm having a hard time distinguishing where the logo stops.
Yeah.
And the gold starts because they're kind of similar. Other than that, I mean, I really like those. But I will say, no 300-pound man looks good in white pants.
yeah. You don't look good in all white, dude. When we wore all white uniforms, I'd be like, "Yo, I need that Spanx shirt today. I need that Spanx shirt.
Real sloppy today, guys.
You know what I mean? Look at this shit, Mercedes fucking Lewis.
Yeah,
dude,
I mean,
he's played a long ass time.
That's gotta feel great though when you take that uniform home and like I'm sure like because when I made varsity baseball and I took the uniform home the first time, you see the stitching and how quality it is. Like,
oh, dude,
sure the first time
crazy.
you put on the NFL uniform,
it's crazy. Like, and my teal one, the teal one, we only wore those one time, like during the season. So, shit, the teal one is like super fresh, like crispy. The black one and the white one are fucking all, worn out.
Yeah, sweated in,
all frayed up, and
right.
The number's not all the way like pristine, clean anymore.
How many helmets do you get during a season? Like, is there just one or two, or like, do you get
give you a helmet? You get a helmet for every like if we wore. Well, it's only because we didn't have no throwback. We weren't wearing our throwback uniforms in any of the games. Some games Broncos will come out in the old school oranges, and then you got the D on the side. That'll be a new helmet. They'll have that for you. So you'll get that helmet. Like Justin knows, you get all the old logo helmets. If you wear them during the season, you get a helmet. You get a new helmet for that.
Everything you wear. And we had I think we I think we can get one a year for free, and then
Yeah, you get one for free. Anything else is
Five.
$1,000.
Oh, you-
bonus.
It's
$1,000? You're like, keep that shit. Go ahead, fucking reuse that shit.
Shit, me, I'm like, shit, take it out my paycheck. Give me another one.
like I'm gonna see it anyways.
Right.
For real. I won't even remember. I won't remember it.
Yeah. That's funny that happens in the NFL because I've got laptops from old jobs. I've got iPads from old jobs. Like, y'all just forgot that you gave it to me and you don't have any fucking type of security on this shit. Plus, y'all
Bruh,
fired me.
none.
You ain't think I'm gonna volunteer this shit? Fuck you. I'm
For
keeping
real.
this
I
fucking
still got playbooks.
iPad. All y'all. Fuck all y'all. You didn't give me a raise for 2 years? I'm fucking keeping this fucking
Right.
laptop,
Keeping
iPad,
everything.
AirPad.
Fuck y'all.
Fuck y'all. I don't
Shit.
care.
But
Come
I'm-
after me.
Right, come
Fucking-
find me.
Yeah.
Them cats will
I don't
do
even
that.
know
I
you
mean,
gave
well,
it to me.
on the
Catch me-
playbooks,
catch me outside.
if it's usually on the playbooks, if it's a cat who's only been there for a little while and they like you
Yeah.
get
Excuse me,
released.
sir.
Oh, they
Uh-huh.
want that playbook, or they're gonna
Yeah.
fine you 100,000.
Wow. But if you're
Yeah.
a veteran, they're like, okay.
If you're a vet, there's like, fuck it, you got it. So shit. Let's keep going here. We got Tucker White 94 $5 says, regardless of outcome, several former Browns, Dolphins, Lions, and Texans players win their first Lombardi. Which fan base suffers the most? So I mean, I'm assuming that he's saying that there's players from all these teams that are
Yeah.
on the Bengals.
You got
and
Odell.
He's
He's the former. You got Matt Stafford, Texans.
Lion.
Mhm.
Bunch. I don't know who's from the Dolphins.
I'm
that
not
is in
sure.
the Super Bowl. I just like to see people get a ring. You know what I mean? Like that. The mathematical odds are pretty much against you. I mean, there's a lot of weird people that have rings, like Jason fucking Garrett, of all people. But there's also people that played, like Takeo Spikes. Like, he didn't even play in the playoffs once.
Right.
his-
Yeah, Taquille's the
career.
homie too. He's
Yeah.
been on the show before, a friend of the show.
Good
Yep.
He has never been to the playoffs, and it was after he left. Every team he left the next year, boom,
people.
Yeah.
Brand.
Damn.
It's like fuck.
And to me, I think he's a Hall of Famer. Honestly, like I think he was a great middle or linebacker. Like, or
Yeah,
was he an
he
edge?
He was a middle
like
linebacker.
edge.
He
Yeah.
was like
Or inside.
he was like a freakishly big middle linebacker, taller than the typical
That's
middle
right.
linebacker.
That's what I was thinking.
Longer arms, long legs, fast.
15
downhill
years he
guy.
played in the league. Like that should
Yeah.
be good enough. If he was
That should
on
be good
better
enough.
teams, he'd be in the Hall of Fame. It's fucking
Yeah,
bullshit.
if he was with the Ravens, half his career, he'd be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Be having fucking statues made of the guy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Jason Gaines.
Get that when you get in the Hall of Fame.
Jason Gaines for $10. Here's an interesting detail about the NFL rigging games for last year's Super Bowl. The NFL had Sarah Thomas as an official for that game. She has a son named Brady, conveniently named after TB12. That's just, I feel
I
like
don't
that's
know.
fan service. That's
Yeah.
a
Clearly,
fan
lots
thing.
of refs
Or
are fans
standing.
of players.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone
Could be
has.
named
yeah.
after Joe Brady. Come on.
Right.
now.
Yeah, look, man. On the field,
Even if
referees
you love the
talk
guy.
with they talk with the quarterbacks, like about house shit, like they,
I don't care. Like when I played, I'd try to be friends with the ump. They would never give me a fucking call. I don't give it. Like they're calling the game. It's two different things. Like,
yeah.
Was she the umpire?
I think she's
She
Sarah
was an
Thomas.
official. She was a sideline official, I believe.
Yeah, I think she's
Not
an
really-
SJ.
Yeah. I mean,
SJ.
you have no say in some shit.
I mean, it happened. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not. It's they're not changing the game at all. Like, there was a coach. There was a referee that I saw like 3/4. Like, he had to have been in ref in 3/4 of the games I ever played. I saw him all the time to a point where he's like, "Oh, what up?" I'm like,
Hey,
"What's
man.
going on, man?" But I knew if this motherfucker defensive lineman's holding me, I'm about to go tell him because I know he'll look. I know he'll take a look. He may not give me the call if it don't happen,
Hey, man.
but he'll let me know before he throws a flag. Like, yo, you was close. You was close.
Right.
And I'll be okay, cool. That's the benefit I got from him.
Yeah,
But it
sports are a
wasn't- that
human
didn't-
game. It does it in all walks of life. It pays to be nice to people. Like if you a dick, like you might not get a call. Still, a call's a call. Like he's not going to lose his job because you're an asshole either. right?
Yeah.
It's like I'm not
Yeah.
gonna miss a call because I hate you. Like if a hold is a
I
hold,
get to the Super
especially
Bowl
in
too.
playoffs.
Shit.
Right?
Yeah.
I gotta make
Yeah.
good calls so I can get,
They make good calls. He get a playoff check. You know, it's all the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck
So,
that
They
up.
have
I mean, I
ratings.
definitely,
I like a guy. Or I'm
Yeah,
a fan of
no.
somebody.
for sure.
Yeah, it just makes your job more fun when you
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, it does make it funner because it's like I couldn't laugh off a little bit when I see him looking at me as soon as I'm getting off the pile and I turn, he's like, "You close, close, don't hold him now, you close." And then I think like later in the season, he reffed the Tampa Bay game, and I got called for 3 holding calls in like one series. I was so fucking pissed. I was like, "Motherfucker, I had him blocked." Like, nope, that's a hold. You're
All right,
pulling
Jay-
him now.
Jason's out here putting on conspiracy theories here.
Uh-oh. Jackson games for $5. She also had a suspicious offsides call and a field goal in last year's Super Bowl. Bucks lead instead went from 7-3 to 14-3. She's a PR diversity hire.
I don't think she held the Chiefs to 13 points. I don't think that was all her.
Wait, is he saying that
Yeah.
instead of the field goal, now they got another chance? They got a first
Something
down?
like that. I don't know. I don't.
Well,
Chiefs-
you know how you can prove if she did it on it, if it was rigged, go pull up the film.
Yeah.
I can
Go
pull it
watch
up if I want. I got Game Pass. I
Yeah.
can pull up the exact play.
Check out her bank account.
Yeah. Investigate this
Peanut
woman.
her bank account.
She's rolling around in a fucking
Look,
Bentley. You know,
football's a very hard game to rig in that regard. An offsides penalty happens because motherfucker was offsides. And I'll tell you right now, there's a lot of times, I swear, I've complained to refs myself, like, bruh, he is lined up in the neutral zone.
I can't call it. I can't
A
call it.
motherfucker's, you know what I mean? I don't line up on the line of scrimmage. I line up at the heels of the center. So my hands are at his heels. Why is the fucking defensive lineman's helmet like 4 inches from
Right.
my
Why
face
is he
mask?
touching me?
How long is this dude's neck? What's going on? Is this like
There's
You know what I
Keel
mean?
back there.
You know what I mean? Like, so when they're offsides, bro, they're offsides most of the time. They're offsides a lot more than they actually get called for. Because, you know, it's hard to always know, even though you see where the ball is, sometimes refs have to look at a lot on the field. So sometimes they don't necessarily, the ones who would call that aren't necessarily looking at the defensive line in that moment when the ball is snapped. They may take a look early in the cadence and everybody looks fine and they look elsewhere. A guy may have, they may have slid the D line and somebody moves up just a little bit, or somebody jumps the snap count but still doesn't get called. So, I mean, it happens, dude. It's not rigged. It's not rigged, but I appreciate Super Chat. David Lim for New Zealand, $5 says, I can't wait to see the Cowgirls go commando twice on the commies. Down to the base, under attack by commies.
Wow.
Yeah, that commie's name is that's gonna stick in the craw.
Big oversight.
Oof.
Big oversight by those guys.
Nobody in the PR even thought about that for a second. Like, hey, so what's our nickname going to be? What's the short name going to be for that?
You know,
Comms.
Comms.
Commsman. Wait. RC from NYC for 10 says, what's up, Uche? What's up, panel? What's up, chat? I wish the WFT had taken the name Red Tails to honor the legendary Tuskegee Airmen. The color scheme would have fit perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes too much sense, my friend.
Yeah,
The problem is, I feel like
logical.
it doesn't really relate to Washington. That's the only problem. I think that was an Alabama-based
Yeah, but here's the thing: like, there's a ton. I grew up in Alabama. Like, there's a ton of Redskins fans in the South. Like that. When I was a kid, Washington actually was considered the South. Like, that was the South's team. People from Alabama not gonna fucking rep Atlanta, so they would all be Redskins fans. It was a weird thing.
Look, at the end of the day, the Washington Redskins in Washington, D.C., it's just a patriotic thing.
Yeah.
Tuskegee Airmen exemplified patriotism.
It just makes too
in what
much
they
sense.
It makes too much sense. No.
Right.
And they're black. in their
Honestly,
no.
I would have preferred Hogs because I mean you get the tradition
yeah.
and the history of the '80s.
Plus,
so
but
you would have
here's the thing:
You get
who's
history.
gonna shit on the Red Tails? That's like a bulletproof name, right? It's like,
Yeah.
oh, that
I
name.
don't know.
Yeah.
Somebody.
You're gonna be like,
Somebody.
Well,
Well,
I mean, you'll call them.
You gotta take it away from us and give it to them?
uh-huh.
So now you're giving this white man our Tuskegee Airmen. Like, oh, come on,
Ain't that the
motherfucker,
truth?
shut up. What you want? What do you want?
You can't win. You can't win.
Cannot win.
You can't
Give
win.
us the team.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. It's not gonna happen.
Give us a lead.
I wish Dan Snyder would have just gone hard and been like the Washington Jews, first team ever just to rep the. We don't get any much representation. The Jewish community is underrepresented. Underrepresented.
The rabbis. What is
Yeah,
that?
the
Washington
rabbis.
rabbis.
The fierce
Should have
The
gone
rabid
full
rabbi.
stereotype, like
Yep.
a Hasidic Jew, like that
Right.
stereotype.
Yeah,
Should have
hell
just gone
yeah.
that.
And then what would you say? Because Dan Snyder's Jewish. I would have been 100% behind it. I'll be
Who's
like,
gonna call him anti-Semitic?
Dan. Right.
Nobody.
Nope.
You'd
Nobody.
be surprised. Someone still would.
Yeah.
Somebody gonna
Probably
find a
somebody
way.
else that's Jewish too. Like that's how
He's not
fucking
real.
that's
He's
how
not
fucking
practicing.
craziness, dude.
That's how crazy the world is fucking going.
My family
Oh yeah.
on my dad's side, all Jewish, like they got some crazy ideas, man. There'd be some interesting conversations at Seder or Thanksgiving. Like fucking shit is wild, dude. Like some people
Crazy.
have some interesting opinions. Let's just put it that way. Interesting.
RC from NYC for $5 at the FedEx Field. Football watches you. That's that
FedEx
commie
Field,
shit,
football
man.
watches you. Yeah.
That's that commie shit.
Mhm.
Charlie for $5. I miss those 2013, 2017 uniforms. It's how I fell in love with the Jags. Now the relationship is complicated, just like most relationships.
Yeah.
With the clown face on it. Yeah,
Love,
you know.
hate right now. Love, hate.
It's love-hate right now in Duval. I think everybody kind of knows that. We'll see how it plays out. I think the uniforms need to change back, but we'll see. The ones we got now aren't, they're just too generic. I hate generic. Like, give me something unique, something that actually gives depth to the uniform. Let's see here. Charlie with another $2 says, also, my name is pronounced. Oh, see, look, it's Aztec. Okay, I got you. But look, let me explain something to you. Telling me it's pronounced like this just made it harder for me to say it. Tekua Petla. Tekua Petla.
Tekua
Tekua
Petla, right?
Petla.
Yeah.
Tekua Petla.
Tekua Petla. Tekua
Accent
Petla.
there doing something.
That mark over the U completely fucks me up. I don't know how to say it.
He's
Teku-
Aztec.
That's awesome.
Tekua Petla.
There you
Okay,
go.
Aztec.
Got
That's
it.
dope, man. Appreciate it.
There you
Appreciate it. And you made it harder, but now I get it. So it's cool. I got a cultural name too, man. My Uche is just what I go by. Let's see what else we got here. We got Pietro Galini. Uche, did you see your article on the front page of the sports section in the Florida Times-Union today? Yes, I did.
My man is published.
Boy,
Hands making names, dude.
getting published. Rattling cages, son.
Out here.
Out talking shit. My shit posting is getting me noticed.
There you go. There you
Just
go.
talking cash
We're
shit.
moving up in the world, Ooch.
Yeah. Talking that shit.
Yeah, it's funny because Gene Fournette, who's a beat writer in Jacksonville, sent me a picture of the front page of Sports today. When I woke up, I looked at it and I just started laughing because they quoted some of my tweets, and I'm like, why would you put that in the newspaper?
Shad's gonna fucking not invite you back to the fucking
Yeah,
alumni
I
game.
said, well, I guess no Legends invite next year.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
Yeah. Give you something to go back to. Shit.
I know, right?
Changed my mind.
Okay, so that's it on our super chat. Oh, wait, what? No, that's it on our super chats. I guess last thing here. I mean, if I don't know. What do you guys think? Do we go over the Super Bowl this week, or do we wait till next week?
I think we need to cover it next week when we get closer.
Yeah, when there's more to really talk about.
It's way too early. We're not.
I agree
we're
with
not
that.
there yet. We're not there
We
yet.
gotta
I
go
agree
through the
with
whole media
Dedicate
day
the
thing
whole
first.
unless something crazy happens between now and next week, like somebody else, like Aaron Rodgers retires or some shit.
Yeah,
That's gonna be
yeah.
that's gonna be all we talk about next week. for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. So before we end the show, and do me a favor, hit that like button if you haven't already done so. We do have what Clickbait has the media day, Super Bowl media day next week,
February 8th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. I'm setting up guests now. Justin, you're gonna join, right? February 8th. What time do you want to? So what we're doing this year that's different than last year. Last year was just fucking insane. Like it was just like an open Zoom meeting, and that shit got crazy, like too fast. What I want to do this year is 15 or 30-minute interviews with every guest. So it would just be Tree and I just interviewing you, asking you questions about your career and stuff. So just look at your calendar and just figure out a time that works for you. Or you can we are doing a chaos hour between 3 o'clock and 5 where it is like that, where everyone just joins in. But I don't know if you want to do
that's
that.
what I'm
Or
gonna
if
be
you
doing.
just
I'm gonna be
want to get in.
Last year I did the interview, and I thought I was gonna do like the chaos thing. So I was like kind of hyped up, and y'all were like, "All right, dude, see ya." Boom, and I'm out. I'm like, "Hey,
You were on though when it got crazy though. Like,
yeah. I
Kofi
was.
from Secret Base came on. Adam Rank came on. Chiseled Adonis came on.
Yeah, Chiseled Adonis was on there. Yeah.
We had Fitzy.
Fitzy. Oh yeah, I gotta ask Fitzy.
I think
to
I
come back.
remember. Shoot, I forget his
Giraffe
name.
Neck Mark Bangle, like
Yeah,
a whole bunch of
Giraffe Neck Mark
popular, like known YouTubers came on. You know,
Yeah.
this year I'm trying to work on Takio. I just sent him a DM. So
Takeo, definitely.
we can ask Maurice Jones-Drew. He's probably too busy though. Adam Rank got back to me earlier. He said that NFL Network's got them doing a lot more shit this year because they're actually able to go in person. So they might not be available, but we're working on a lot of big guests. So everyone subscribe to the Dumpster Fire and come check it out.
Oh yeah, Dumpster Fire.
Oh, and Link Opstad. It was your birthday yesterday. I didn't have time. I forgot.
Ooh.
I was trying to
birthday,
catch
Leif.
you out on the Dumpster Fire, Leaf.
Oh, happy
And
birthday,
I didn't have
Leif.
time, but happy 19th birthday, buddy.
19,
birthday, bro.
yeah, that was actually the first message that was on here tonight.
Yeah.
Hey, I see that. Turning 19 on Friday.
Fuck, those were the days.
Turning 19 on Friday. Leif, appreciate you, man. Hey, happy birthday, brother. Still a couple years away from being a real man, but hey, you know.
Dude,
get there.
enjoy your youth because someday you're going to wake up like this.
Don't want to bring you down,
Dude.
but this might be
Down
as
in
good as it gets.
Aruba, I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, you're right about as good as it gets. You still don't have any bills.
This is
You
it,
know,
man.
Yeah.
you got a little
great.
bit extra. You know what I mean?
Enjoy this
It's
shit.
hard all day.
Yeah.
It's only going to get harder.
Right.
Oh,
If
shit.
you could get
Only
laid,
gonna
you
get
would. Like,
Yeah.
you know, dude, I was down in Aruba like last week, man. Like, I'm sorry, but like the older you get, like I work out all the time. And even still, you're just like, I don't know if I want to take off my shirt. Like,
Oh,
you see all these young motherfuckers around there, all in shape and shit. And you're just like,
Oh,
dude,
God.
like, fucking age.
You start
is a
doing some
motherfucker.
HGH or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, the
I think it's
thing is, like, you
something,
don't want to do that when you get older because
Uh,
you want your body to produce it on its own. Like, once you
Right.
cross that,
Once you
it's
stop, I think
over.
It's done.
You're done. Like,
yeah,
so
yeah.
either you got divorced and you're trying to live it up for the next 5 years and die in Las Vegas or something. Or,
The brightest flame burns
Yeah.
quickest.
yeah.
Going out the
All
All right,
fucking-
guys.
Live the
All right.
glory.
That's going to be it for us. This has been a Lineman Life live podcast. Hope everyone has a wonderful hump day. We will catch you all next week. And again, don't forget, we also got the whole Dumpster Fire Media Day for Super Bowl week coming up. You'll get more details on that as we get closer to it. I'm your urban lineman, Uche Waneri. Got Justin Blaylock, your Nate Tree, 5 Point Vids. We will catch y'all on the next one. Peace.